Though he was in the form of God, Jesus did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself, taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men. In today's Gospel, we read about the collectors of half-shekel tax who came to Peter to inquire if his master Jesus would pay the temple tax. Ironically, Jesus, the Son of God and the Lord of the temple, decides to pay the temple tax. This highlights the humility of Jesus and reminds us of what St. Paul wrote in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 2, verses 6 to 7. Though he was in the form of God, Jesus did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself, taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men. According to Jesus' instruction, Peter then goes to the sea for fishing, takes the first fish that comes up, opens its mouth to find a shekel, and makes the tax payment for himself and Jesus. When we unpack this incident, we can learn two important things. Firstly, Peter found 1 shekel, which is double the amount of tax. It is sufficient for 2 persons. Therefore, the single payment for Christ and Peter points out the spiritual union between Jesus and his vicar on earth. There is a spiritual union between Christ and the Pope, the successor of Saint Peter, because it was on Peter that Christ built his church. Therefore, the one who is in union with Pope is in union with Christ. The second point that I would like to reflect on is finding a coin in the mouth of a fish. This highlights God's providential care for his children. For instance, in the book of Exodus, we read how God provided manna to sustain the Israelites during their 40-year journey in the wilderness. And in the first book of Kings, we read about Elijah the prophet who was fed by ravens during the time of famine and persecution. Every day, ravens brought Elijah bread and meat, sustaining him during this difficult period. Then in the book of prophet Jonah, when the storm threatened the boat, the crew threw Jonah overboard to calm the storm. But God came to his help by providing a large whale to swallow Jonah, saving him from drowning. So these are a few examples of God's faithfulness and providential care in challenging circumstances. God is in total control over his creation and governs the whole world. He is capable of solving our problems in unimaginable ways. When we are in trouble and in distress, it is the Lord who moves the heart of various people to come to our assistance. Therefore, we need to see the hand of God behind all the goodness that we enjoy in our daily lives. But most often, we overlook these little blessings and fail to pause for a while and thank the Lord for the favors we receive. Today's Gospel, my friends, invites us to trust in God's providence and to express our gratitude by showering praises and thanksgiving for all the graces and blessings. Amen.